Hi, this is a restorative practice with a focus on forward extension, and we use the chair and the wall to help those of you who find it hard to mobilize the lower back. I mean, to be honest, we all do, but this way of working is particularly helpful for people with a slightly stiffer body. And it also helps to refine the movement for those who find forward bending easily, but perhaps are overusing one area and underusing other areas. So let's start by sitting in Sukhasana. Simple cross legs on a support. Make sure that you're sitting high enough so that there's a downward movement from the hips to the knees. So the groins release, and then rest your hands down and ascend the trunk up. Then spread your palms, close your eyes, sit quietly, arrive here where you are. So being aware of the screen, but also being aware of your own body, the room you're in, as the video is here to simply guide you. So the intention is to bring you towards yourself. So now with your eyes closed, look inwards and feel what's here. Let's chant together. And bow your head to your heart. Keep the trunk ascending upwards. Bow the head. Then rest your hands. And then slowly open your eyes and raise your head. We'll start with Uttanasana with a chair support. This is a standing forward bend with a chair. Some of you might benefit from a blanket on the chair, and the stiffer people will work better with a bolster as well. So I'll show both options. First of all, feet hip width apart, outer edges of the feet parallel. Press down through the heels, draw the muscles of the legs up. Extend the arms up, feel that you're lifting the sides of the waist. You're lifting your back ribs, opening your armpits, and then keeping your legs straight, extend towards the top of the chair. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward bend. So you're stretching forwards with your hands, whether they touch the chair or not. The idea is to go as far forwards as you can and feel this length in the lower back. And also work to draw up the thigh muscles. Then bring your elbows onto your bolster, and again try to move the lower back. Some of you might be more in this kind of a shape, so that's why you've got to work to stretch up the legs and then to move the lower back forwards. So you're using the elbows to help that movement, and at the same time the abdomen's lengthening forwards, the pelvis is moving forwards. And then you'll be able to rest the head. So this is a little high for me, I'm going to move that out. So rolling the crown of the buttocks to the ceiling, keeping the legs straight, rest your head, and then you can rest your arms. So the arms are broad, the shoulders are broad. And I'm not using any muscular strength to do the forward bend. It's all not in the arms anyway. It's the legs, the inner and outer thighs are strongly lifting up. Backs of the thighs are broadening. So rest Rest there, quietening the front brain. Keep working the legs to extend the trunk forwards. So exhale, press your feet down, and then inhale and come up. So the next posture is wide leg forward bend in the same manner. So you're going to take your feet wide apart. So I just showed you that with the chair out of the way, but I'm going to show it with the chair now. So the legs are wide. You really want to press the outer edges of your feet down so that you're not just going to keep on sliding the legs. It's like that's the boundary, and from there the ankles grip in and the hips grip in. Then extend up, lift the back ribs, lift the sides of the navel, and then extend forwards towards the top of your chair. Again, stretch the hands beyond the chair so that you're extending your trunk forwards. Ardha Prasarita Padottanasana. But be careful, flexible people, that you don't end up doing something like this. Okay, I'm holding back so that both the front and the back of the body are lengthening equally. Again, see, can you roll the buttocks up and release the lower back. Then the same work, we're going to come onto the elbows and move the lower back forwards, move this dorsal area in, shoulder blades in, and then bring your head to the support. Then relax the arms so that the shoulders are broad and there's no tension in the upper back at all. As you stay in the pose, keep working the legs. Keep rolling the buttocks towards the ceiling. Keep lengthening your lower back. Exhale, stamp the feet down, firm the legs, press your hands onto the chair to bring yourself up to halfway, and then inhale and come up and step your feet together. So we come to Adho Mukha Svanasana. So those of you who are stiffer in the upper back, a great way of doing it is with the chair first, or a step. So you'll go to your stairs and use the third or fourth step. Just make sure if you're using a chair that it's on the mat and it's not going to slide. If it slides, you could just put it at the wall. So from here, my hands are on the chair. Then I press into the chair to send the hips back. But then I also have to walk back my feet so that I'm at an angle. So not like this, yeah? Downward facing dog shape is a triangle, more of a triangle. But again, not to stay here. What's the work? Look how my chest is not open. So I send the thighs back, move the outer hips back, and lengthen the trunk. Moving those shoulder blades in, and then stretching the calves down towards the heels. So try and get that openness, that 180 degrees in the chest. If you're finding it hard, use your exhalation to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 to move this upper back in. And come up. So now downward facing dog pose with the floor. So spread your palms, step your feet apart, and then same actions as with the chair. Stretch the heels back, move the front of the ankle back, the shin back, inner and outer knee back, body of the thigh back, outer hip back. Now I've got to do it with my left leg because my right leg's responding to my hands. Move it back and then feel how the crown of the buttocks goes to the ceiling. and the lower back lengthens. Head in line with the arms. And then come down. So I'm looking at the sequence on my phone that I drew up. So make sure that when you do this video, you also get a hold of the PDF, because it's great to have a reference, both of them. So you can see the printed version, the names of the postures, and then you can also see how I've done it on the video. So the next posture is Paschimottanasana, forward bend, but we're using the wall. Now, it's not quite good enough just the toes on the wall, so I'm going to come in closer and try as best as I can. Actually, my feet are a bit grubby. Try as best as I can to get my heels right in to that wall. Dig the heels, so the blanket's there just for because my feet are dirty. Okay, so press the heels into the wall. And you have to adjust the chair because I'm actually sitting too much on the chair here. I need to be right on the edge. Okay, so you've got to work out where you're right on the edge so that the sitting bones are down and that you can lift the lower back up. So Urdhva Hastasana, and then extend forwards. Again, feel that you're moving up here and reach your hands to the wall, or I've actually got this convenient ledge here. So I can press my hands down into the ledge to help to lengthen and lift. But at the same time, I'm lifting my abdomen and stretching up. Then I can begin to rest more forwards and maybe rest my forehead on the radiator here, relaxing the elbows. But make sure that you're still able to move this area in. You may find that that's better, having the hand slightly higher up. So the beauty of practicing on your own is that you start to focus on the feeling of the posture, whether you're getting the feeling. So you learn to observe for yourself. So what's next in the sequence? I think it is sitting on the chair, but not using the wall. So again, if you sit back here, you can't really straighten the legs. Yeah, can you see that? So I'm going to come right to the front of the chair, and then I can dig my heels in like I did at the wall and press the thighs down. Yeah, so engage the thighs up into the hip, and as they draw, the legs draw into the hips, I can extend forwards. Extend forward, 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 and down. But then what happens is I sort of shrink in the front of my body and I get this hump. So I'm going to come up, and I think this will be the case for most of you. Have a bolster so that you can keep this length. So you have your hands on the bolster, but your feet are drawing up, so you're not just dropping down. And lengthen the lower back, move the dorsal spine in, and maybe come onto your elbows and keep lengthening. Keep lengthening. And then it's really nice to rest the forehead. And then your arms can be passive, and all the work is happening in your legs and in your hips, and then your trunk can extend forward. If you don't get anywhere near your feet and your back's particularly stiff, then have the bolster right up here and try and lengthen your tummy over the bolster. And then maybe a couple of blocks for your hands. So let the feeling of what's happening in your body and what you're trying to achieve guide you. So lengthen the lower back and extend forward. Inhale and come up. So this brings us to the floor. Same posture, Paschimottanasana, but on the ground. And we're going to use the chair still because it helps us to extend up. So you'll probably sit on a foam pad or a blanket. If your back is particularly stiff, you know, if you're one of these people that thinks, I will never touch my toes, then sit up on a good height, sit on a bolster. I mean, I always sit on a bit of blanket because I find it just gives me a little bit more softness in the backs of the legs. Okay, here we go. Legs are straight, press them down and spread the soles of the feet. Press your hands down and lengthen the sides, the front and the back of the body up. Then Urdhva Hastasana, just like when we were standing at the very beginning, we had our legs underneath us though, but still the trunk should have that same look as if we were standing. Okay, so you don't have to stand up, I was just showing you. This lift. Then keep the back moving forward and reach towards the top of the chair. Now if you're like this, then your chair is too far. You need to bring it closer and reach your arms up the chair so it's like a concave backstage. And if you're still kind of like this, then hold the chair and pull down with the arms to lift this area up. Okay, so you've got to try and feel what's going to help. Then extend forward, second stage. Rest your forehead on the chair and then relax the arms. Keep the legs straight. Keep the thighs rolling in. And exhale to soften the groins down and then lengthen forwards like a river flowing forwards. And then inhale to come up. It's funny because I've actually varied slightly from my handout. I knew I would. I can never stick to an exact plan. So in the sequence I actually did Virasana first, which is slightly easier. So the stiffer people would benefit from this method of sitting in Virasana. Have two blocks if you need to. Sitting higher creates more space behind the knees. So remember Virasana. So everyone do this. In Virasana is feet either side of the blocks. And then move the calf down and then sit down on the blocks, but keep the ankles gripping into the blocks. Okay, this is Virasana. Some of you will need to sit on loads of blocks. It doesn't matter. Sit on as much as you need. Okay, so Virasana. And then the same method. Stretching up. Stretching up, up, up. And then forward. So keep the sitting bones moving down, move the sacrum in and extend forward. Such a lovely pose, and those of you who have tight hamstrings, you'll find the kneeling and going forward is much easier. Okay, so stretch your legs out. So this brings us to do 2 seated forward extensions with one leg straight and the other leg bent. But if you feel like your back's had enough now of the forward bends, then you can do a twist, which would just be cross legs and then do a twist. And then you change the cross, okay? So do that if you need to, but I'm going to carry on with teaching this bit, which is Triangle Mukha Ekapada, Paschimottanasana. So that means half of one leg is in the hero pose, that kneeling position that we just did, and one leg is straight. Okay, so we normally have the right, normally we fold the right leg back. So that would be this leg for you. I'm just showing you this way around, so you can see how this leg is straight, this ankle is in, this knee is square. And I'm even on both sitting bones, okay? Then you're going to extend up and then forwards to the chair. Again, sit on as much height as you need. So go up the chair first so that you can move this area of the back in. Often it sticks out like this. And if you're finding it hard, just bring the chair closer so you can pull down on the chair to climb the front body and the back. To climb the trunk up, but and move the shoulder blades forward. Then you can extend down. So if you end up like this with your back in, then you could probably move the chair a little bit further. Just watch your toes. And bring your forehead onto the seat, relax the arms. As you work gently in the pose, notice how your right leg starts to roll out. So keep rolling the frontal thigh in, pressing the inner heel down. Roll the leg upright. Exhale, inhale and come up, and let's do the other side. So stretch out that right leg, sit in Dandasana, and then fold back the left leg. Then extend up. Extend forwards to the chair, make sure the chair's in the middle, and again, lengthen up, so you're kind of moving this back body, not just forwards, but forwards and up. Although the shoulder blades, actually, they do go down. So it feels like a forwards and up, but in that process, the shoulder blades glide down the back. And then rest your forehead. Inhale and come up. Now let's do Janu Shirshasana. So still the same method of working with the chair, but I'm going to face you so you can see my leg. So stretch both legs, then roll the right leg out from the hip, and then gently keeping the knee down so the thigh rotates outwards. The calf also rotates outwards, so upwards. And you bring the heel towards its own groin. Then you've got to make sure that this leg is still upright. And then be on both sitting bones and turn your body to face the front leg, because often we end up a bit like this. So you've got to work to this waist to turn the body to face the straight leg. Then again, you're going to reach up. But when you reach up, you've got to still keep your body in line with the straight leg. You'll get pulled over to the side. Then extend up your chair, so hold the chair and then continue to extend the sides of the body forward and then rest your head. Keep the straight leg upright, so press the inner heel down, inner groins down, then rest the arms so you're not using muscular work of the arms, and rest your forehead. And as you stay in the pose, see if with each exhalation you can gently bring this right waist forward. So you're releasing this right side down. Exhale, inhale and come up. And then the other leg. So take the left leg out to the side. Turn your body to face your straight leg. Inhale and stretch up. Hold the chair, move the shoulder blades in, and then extend forwards. Rest your head. So as you rest there, I'm just going to show what to do if you've got trouble with your knees. So rest your forehead, but those of you who are struggling with the knees, what you need to do, firstly, if your knee is like this, then you're going to need to sit up higher. So you sit up on a few blocks, and hopefully that'll bring it down a bit. But then it's floating. So then you need to put a bolster or a blanket there so that the knee is supported, but also it's gone down, and you've raised the pelvis up, so there's more of a lengthening rather than this position. That's not lengthening, that's shortening. Okay. And the others. Inhale and come up and stretch your legs. So we come to Paschimottanasana now. So those of you who have been doing very well with the chair, moving the back in, resting forwards, stay with the chair. If you feel actually you could possibly go lower, then take a bolster and put it on your shins. If you don't have a bolster, doesn't matter, blanket will do fine. So spread the backs of the thighs, extend up. So you're really working to lift the front and the back up. And then now you can extend to the chair, to the legs, then to your feet. But then don't be in a rush. I'm being in a bit of a rush, so my back's lifting up. So I've got to slow down and come back up to this stage and breathe here. So you do this process yourselves. Keep rolling the ankles in so the big toes are together. Press the thighs down and lengthen the back. Lengthen, lengthen, then hold the chair and then rest the head and hold the backs of the feet. And try not to use muscular strength in the arms. Let the elbows widen, so there's this length along the sides of the body to the armpits, and there's a breadth of the diaphragm. So you could stay there for a long time probably, but we'll keep the class moving because some of you might be needing a twist by now. So exhale, inhale and come up, bring your arms down. So yeah, at any point in that sequence, if you find that your back is aching, just do a twist to release it, or downward facing dog pose. So in the handout, I haven't put a twist here actually, I've gone straight to bridge pose. So I'm going to carry on with the sequence, but if you need to release your back, then again do simple crossed legs and turning to either side. So we all know bridge pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, 4 blocks, feet to the wall. I'm actually going to show it to you with a bolster because I'm not using the wall for my feet today. So I've got blocks for my feet and the bolster for my pelvis, and I'm going to have a belt for my feet. This is a lovely pose after you've done forward bends because it opens up the front of the body. So place the strap around your feet, so the feet, not the ankles. Yeah, can you see? And you go into it with bent knees. And then bring your feet up onto the support. So you get to this point and you feel that, okay, my pelvis is on the bolster well, I've tucked my shoulders under, and then you kind of want to stretch the legs, but in such a way that you find that it opens out the front of the pelvis. So I'm kind of pressing down with the heels to move the shoulders down to create this lift of the pelvis to open the chest, open the hips and open the chest. Then turn your arms outwards so the shoulders go down, the armpit chest lifts, and rest the back of the hand to the floor. See that the sides of the neck are long. So the use of the belt is that you slide the heels out. You slightly hit against the belt, so it stops your feet from rolling out into Shavasana. So breathe here, relax your throat. Keep pressing the thighs down, extending into the feet. And letting the chest be broad. So again, you can stay in that pose for a good 5 minutes. And some of you will do shoulder stand and some of you won't, so that's fine, just stay in bridge pose. But those of you that are going to do shoulder stand, then when you're ready, you can gently come down by sliding back or lifting your hips and taking the bolster out from underneath you. And just rest there for a moment. And then roll to your side to come up. So if you're doing Sarvangasana, shoulder stand, have your foam pads. So I've placed the foam pads. I put a blanket on top as well because I like quite a bit of height. And then I also like to have my shoulders really quite close to the edge, but not so close that it means that my shoulders are going to roll off. So you've got to work that position out for yourself. So then you also want to check that you're in the middle, so hold the mat so I know, okay, It's equal both left and right side. And then stretch your legs up to the ceiling. Bring your hands right into your back. And then push the hands into your back and stretch your legs straight up. Feel how well your lower back is moving in. The frontal thighs move back. Spread the soles of the feet. So notice where my hands are, they're right down here in the shoulder blades. You may find that actually having the hand on the skin gets better contact. But notice how you need to move the sacrum forward and the thighs back. Again, relax your throat. Those of you who are still in bridge pose, you probably want to come out now if you haven't done so already. Stay in shoulder stand for as long as you feel comfortable, as long as you feel there's a good lift in your back. Okay, and then come down out of Sarvangasana by coming down, and then slide back over your blocks till your shoulders are on the ground. And rest there. And those who only did the bridge pose, you can roll to your side now and come up. So here's our twist. Bharadvajasana, B1 for short. Do try and connect the written name and what you're doing. So it makes it so much easier to kind of understand them, like you understand who people are. Okay, so everyone come up to sitting now. Sit in Dandasana. Those with knee difficulties, you're going to need to sit on a lot of height because we're bending the knees. If you really can't bend your knees, then you'll do chair twist, which will be like this on the chair, okay? But otherwise, everyone, let's sit down on the ground, extending the legs forward. Then roll this right leg out and take the foot underneath. And then stretch this left leg straight back. Separate the knees. Try and descend this left sitting bone. Sit tall. Ascending both sides of the trunk. Then inhale, stretch up. Exhale, turn away from your feet to your right and bring your hands down. This hand on the outside of the thigh, this back hand on the floor, and then lift up. Exhale, turn. Keep your face quiet. With each exhalation, turn a little more. And center. And stretch your legs. So stretch out that right leg first, then the left. And we'll go to the other side. So roll this left leg out. So the foot's pointing to the side, and then stretch this leg so the toes are pointing straight back. Yeah, so it makes like a cross. These toes are pointing straight back, the one on top, and the one underneath is pointing horizontally, okay? But then you've got to make sure that that buttock goes down, because otherwise you'll end up being tipped to the side. So if you're a bit wonky, sit higher. So descend the legs and sitting bones, ascend the trunk and the arms. Exhale, turn to the left. Inhale, exhale, turn. Face quiet. Then with each exhalation, gently turn a little more. And back to the center. Then extend your legs. So we continue to Viparita Karani now. So some of you will like to use a bolster. And if you've got a bolster, it's really nice to use a bolster because it's smooth, it's got a nice curve, and then you stretch your legs up. If you find your legs don't stay vertical like mine do, and they're sort of like this, then that's not comfortable for the abdomen. So you're better off having your feet at the wall. So you stretch your legs up and you rest them on the wall so that the abdomen can relax. Okay, so that would be placing the bolster at the wall with a gap about a brick's distance. Then sit on it sideways and then go in like this. And then rest your legs on the wall. I'm not because my feet are dirty, but this is what it looks like. And then to come out, you slide back. Okay, so that's people whose legs are heavy and they need the wall. Otherwise, let's do it in the middle. And I'm going to show it a bit higher than that for those of you who are more practiced. And you can have more height. Obviously you need to be careful because now the bolster's wider than the blocks. But what's nice is that you can curve the shoulders down onto the floor and then take the legs to the ceiling. So you get this lovely openness in the chest and this spreading of the abdomen. So take the variation that's best for you. Some of you might only have 1 or 2 blocks. You may have no blocks, so that in that case just use that. So you might just have your 2 blocks. And again, if you find that your legs are like this, then have your feet at the wall. But as you can see, without so much height on the hips, I don't get quite the same opening in the chest. And the legs feel heavier as well. It really works the thighs. So you may need to just be at the wall if you've only got a couple of blocks. Otherwise, stay. Make sure that you're comfortable. Relax your throat. Relax your tongue. Okay, and then to come out, you're going to slide backwards. Whatever you do, don't try and sit up. You want to go backwards, slide backwards. So you bend your knees, hold the bolster. You might want to catch your hair as well. And then you just wiggle back slowly until your buttocks land on the ground. Then just rest with your legs on the bolster or crossed on the bolster. Then change the cross of your legs. And then come up. Roll to your side to come up. So the last pose on the sequence is supported kneeling forward bend. So sit on your feet, knees apart, and then stretch forward. Rest your tummy on the bolster, and then rest your head to the side. Try and keep your buttocks down on your heels. But if you've got real difficulty in your back, then bring your pelvis more up, so your groins are actually on the front edge of that bolster. And then rest forward. Or just try it, actually, it's quite nice. If you come up slightly so that your groins are slightly on the bolster, and move the blanket forward. So I'm very slightly sitting on it. And then when you go forwards, the lower part of your abdomen, so more your pubic plate is on it, and it's really restful for the back. But your bolster might become a bit short then, so you might need to put some blocks on the end, especially if you're a bit tall. So rest here now, spread your back. Relax your arms. Change the position of your head. And then slowly bring yourself up to sitting. So if you've got time to continue with some pranayama, it's a really nice opportunity to lie down now on a bolster in Shavasana number 2, with the head and neck supported. Lengthen your buttock flesh towards your feet, and then relax your legs. So this is Shavasana number 2 for those of you who've got time to lie down in this position to do some breath work. Otherwise you're going to lie down on your back flat. But if you've got a bit of blanket, nice wide support, then you have that for your back. And then have an extra blanket for your head. And if it's chilly, then get extra clothes because your body temperature will drop now. So lie down in Shavasana, number 1 or 2, and relax the shoulders, roll the arms out. Let the forehead skin relax in the direction of the chest. So see that you've got this flow towards the heart. And then down towards the feet. Settle. And notice your normal breathing. Relax your limbs, relax the muscles. Relax your face, especially the jaw, tongue. Okay, so we're going to continue with Ujjayi number 3. That's lying down on a support and a long inhalation. So you can feel that the abdomen is released and soft. So that you can exhale right from down here, preparatory. Then when you breathe in, you breathe all the way up into this space in the armpit chest, this side chest here. Not up here, not up in the top chest, the side chest. So you feel the whole of the chest expanded, and then you gently release the diaphragm a little bit. Then you breathe out from the tummy completely, and then release. I'll talk you through it. Exhale to prepare, followed by a long, slow, smooth inhalation all the way up into the armpit chest, expanding the chest. Then exhale, keeping the shape of the chest, breathe out from the belly, and then release. Normal breathing. And again, exhale to prepare. Inhale into the armpit chest. Then exhale. Normal breathing. So just do a couple more cycles on your own of this slightly longer and broader inhalation, keeping the jaw, throat, face quiet. And now come back to normal cycles of inhalation and exhalation. Notice how you feel in your body. Notice any mental contents, i.e. thoughts, sensations, images. And then you're going to come up to sitting. So those who were doing flat Shavasana, if you want to just bring your practice to a close now, and then do the others, you're going to lie flat now for Shavasana number 1. So this is just to let go of any grips in the body, just to earth yourself as we integrate to the rest of the day. So just a couple of minutes now, completely let go and relax. Asato ma satkamaya, tamaso ma chotirghamaya, mrityo mam amritam ghamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So now bring your awareness back to the surface of your skin and rest your hands on the front of your body. Pause here as we come to the end of the practice today. And then in your own time, roll over to your side and come up to sitting. Namaste. Be well, everyone.